You're right people, Chaos here with a slightly different unboxing literally, and that is due to Warhammer 40k. I've came across some new bases. Now before I say anything else, you may notice some of my fingers and my hand and stuff is a little bit black. I've been priming models for my brother, so when you spray it your hand gets black, so on and so forth. Anyway, I digress. Now, I want to go over how these 32mm bases look, because obviously you purchase them for how they look, but also a quick insight on how they may change how you like to play the game. Alright? So, these are the 40k versions, the sci-fi versions, not virgins, and there's fantasy variants for like Age of Sigmar and so on and so forth. I like the idea of these bases. Okay? Now, before I open it up and all that lot, I want to go over how the 25mm bases look. So, you've got, ooh, where did that go? Pardon me. You've got the old 25mm base. Alright, nothing too special. Done it, everyone's seen these. You can then get resin style ones. So you got like a fantasy plinth one, so on and so forth. Looks quite nice. And then you got a rubble one. Now I do apologise, you may hear a slight rattle in the background. That is Darwin. He's kind of woken up and he's like, oh, and chewing stuff. So, you know, you can get third-party ones. Nothing wrong with them. I've used them. They're quite nice. But I like the idea of having like a whole army or a whole set of units on the same style bases. They look uniform. They look as a military force. If you have multiple different units on different bases and stuff like that, it can start getting a bit confusing. Alright, so anyway, I've digressed enough. There's 60 32mm bases in this box, so as you can see there, 60 of them, and they show you what they can look like. They give you an idea of what paints to actually use to get this kind of scheme, but you can do whatever you like. You can make them look a bit more weathered than they got here. You can make them look more fresh metal. Now they have actually got here an Imperial Fist model on top of one of these bases to give you an idea of the size. But for £20 in store to £18 online, can't fault it. 60 of these is not bad. So I've already pre-opened it and I've got one out from there. You get 4 of these sprues from the actual box, so you get 15 on a sprue. They look quite nice, you have to admit. Nicely embossed, nice bit of level to it. I bet you they'd be quick and easy to paint up. Base them black, base them grey, give them a base coat, you know, spray over, and you can paint them straight onto the sprue. So you paint up your model, pin it, so on and so forth. That's all ready. You do your dry brushing, your sprays, your varnish, boom, straight on, done. I like this idea. Alright, I've been having slight issues, and friends of mine have been having slight issues of when you base your model. Say for example this one here, you may get sand on its feet after you've painted it and stuff like that. You get the PVA, or you don't see the glow, you put the sand on and it goes on the feet. Now this is an implication that I want to go on, is you've now got a bigger base. You can fit more detail on it. You can fit more stuff. You can fit a shutter on there, rubble on there. A lot easier than this 25mm base, which is nice in my eye. I like the models looking dramatic, okay? Because it's uniform, these are all, you know, industrial, your army will look all very similar. Now, as you can see there, hate to say video doesn't really want to focus too well, but you can see by the feet they're right on the edge of the 25mm base. Now I've got my Cypher, love this model, see the feet there, I line it up to a base, hopefully I can line it up on camera. I got room, I don't need to fit it right on the middle, I can fit it on the edge. So say for example this one here, you may not be able to see it too well, alright, there's blocks, alright, it's like a brick wall's fallen down or something. I can fit the feet up to the edge and still show off that. I can make it look quite dramatic, okay? I've got gridded iron on this one here with like a sigil thing. So the galvanite, I could put him on the edge. Oh, wrong way, doing it backwards. So I can fit it like that or like that. I got more to play with. So you may be going, oh, sounds like bonuses. Yes, it is. However, because they've increased the size of these model bases, they're very close to these 40mm Terminator bases. In the game, one of the things that I can see this playing up a little bit is when you're in close quarters combat, all your models have to be, you know, you have to measure from the edge of that base 6 inches, so on and so forth. Now, it's not a big difference, 25mm base to 32. You're gaining 7mm. It's not the end of the world. But when you get into close quarters combat with an enemy unit, say for example, this Terminator is my enemy unit. I charge in. I need to get as many units of my ones in touching as I can of this one. So technically I could get, in this span here, you can see I could get another 3 in there. So if we measure out 25mm, that's 100mm of models that I can get into that. So that's 4 models in that 100mm. Now if I have them on these 32mm bases, I can only fit 3 in there. See where I'm going? You've got less models per footfall. Each model's footfall is now increased. So if you're a close quarters combat army, you may not be able to, like a flood army, orcs or something, or tyranids, you may not be able to get as many models per se, okay, as a random thought, per se, in that same space. You won't be able to get as many models looking as though they're attacking that same one. Don't get me wrong, I may be nitpicking, but I thought I'd be honest, okay? So these are going to look brilliant. Don't get me wrong, they're going to look amazing. 32mm bases, they're going to look quite nice on these Space Marines, because as you can see, right to the edge. I've said it multiple times. Whereas the Terminators, they're in the middle of the base. They look quite imposing. So I would like to see your ideas down below. I know it's quite a bit of a different video for the channel, but it's something I was scratching my head over and I'd like to see your input. But yeah, I have got a lot of models to base, so I'm literally popping them off and going twang. To a certain degree, I don't want to break their feet, but I'm taking them off. I'm going to pin them, obviously put like a little bit of metal in there, paint these up, drill hole, done, in, done. So let me know down below what you think of these. What do you think of the new bases where, you know, it could implement other, you know, models, bolt action, you know, Dark Age, all these other, you know, tabletop war games. But hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, really do appreciate it. Any feedback, as I said, really do appreciate it. And I shall leave you as always. You all take care of yourself. Chaos out. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you want to see the other videos in the playlist, you got the left hand option. If you want to see the content that I have on my channel, you then have that middle option there. And if you'd like to join the chaotic crew, please don't be afraid to click that button on the right hand side. You're more than welcome.